In mid-19th century, books are something like the latest iPhones with built-in ChatGPT. Expansive, informative, everyone wants it, and it's a good source of entertainment. And then, in the city of Boston, United States of America, the first municipal library opens where books can be taken home for absolutely free. Free! At the time, it was unbelievable. The sign above the entrance, "Free for All," became a symbol of this generosity. People who had never dreamed of holding books in their hands could now easily take a volume of Shakespeare or an encyclopedia straight home. In essence, this was a step into a new era when knowledge began to become accessible to everyone. Friends, the Boston Public Library, one of the largest and oldest in America. Now look at this building and imagine that this library at the beginning of its existence was just a hall in school. Then it was decided to unite the small local libraries into one, to make one big library with books gathered from everywhere, and people also donated their books as well as a little money and a lot of money, and thus the library would be created. What's most interesting is that this library is completely free, same as the New York State Library, which we have visited together with Andre. Also a very cool library. You can watch the video on the channel if you're interested. This one is also free, also state-owned, also one of the largest and the oldest. And here it is. How did it all begin? The initiator of the construction and development of the library was Joshua Bates, a British merchant and philanthropist. He was one of the first and most generous financiers who invested significant funds in the creation of the library. The amount that Bates donated allowed the library to begin collecting and organizing its operation. In addition to Bates, other significant contributors to the development of the library included Peter Bent, an industrialist and philanthropist, and finally, the local government. In 1852, Boston city officials recognized that the establishment of a public library would serve the educational and cultural interests of the city. The Boston Public Library is a pioneer in public library services in America. It was the first large free municipal library in the United States, the first public library that issued books. The library, built in itself on Copley Square, opened in 1895. This is one of the most majestic and beautiful library complexes in the United States. The interior of the library is decorated with frescoes, mosaics, and paintings created by famous artists. Here you'll find images of the most important episodes of American world history, iconic images of literature and art. The main reading room is the Bates Hall. A large collection of rare and ancient books are stored at the library, including first editions of works by William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, and Jane Austen. It also has one of the largest collections of historical maps and archival materials about Boston and Massachusetts. This is the library's courtyard, and there is also a bar. Seriously, a bar right in the library where you can order some stronger drink to make your reading more interesting. The Boston Public Library was the first library in the world to offer public access to the internet and provided its users with free computer stations for research and study. In addition, the library actively supports the digitalization of its collections, allowing researchers and readers from around the world to access materials online. It stores more than 20 million items. There are not only books but also rare manuscripts, ancient maps, and works of art. Almost 2 million rare books and manuscripts opening doors to the past are stored here. Medieval texts, a rare incunabula, There is a collection of Spanish literature by George Tickner, rare editions of Daniel Defoe, historical documents of colonial Boston, and the abolitionist movement. The pearl of the collection is the personal library of the second US President, John Adams. More than 3,500 rare volumes collected by a man who not only led the country, but also loved books with all his heart. You know what makes this collection especially valuable? John Adams not only read the books, but also left comments in the margins of some of them.